record here. I know there's a couple people who couldn't make it. So thank you all for checking in. So here's what we're going to do. So normally some of you have been in classes and meetings with me before, and I go through like a slide and we have all this stuff. Today, we're going to actually just be focusing on Elite Scoop. That's actually that's going to be our syllabus for our period together. This particular session is about introducing you to the tools and what their purpose intent is. Now, there's other classes, especially for those of you who are new agents, and other sessions that I'm going to be doing, and the calendar's coming out pretty soon, on marketing, the listing marketing process, how do I sell Elite Scoop to my clients and all the rest. But if we were to do that today, a 12-hour day of going through every single tool and how to use every single one. And so we're going to be talking about highlights of the tools and what they have in store for them. Now, it's important to remember that as real estate agents, what we're being hired for is our knowledge. So we're knowledge workers. And at some point, there has to be some system in which you start keeping track of this and whatever works for you. For some people, it's a written notebook. Some people some of you just have amazing memories and you'll watch videos whenever you need it, or you'll watch videos rather whenever you need it. But you need to figure out a system that works for you for keeping track of what you love about the tool personally, and in how it works. Go ahead and jump in here to Elite Scoop. Let me go ahead and share that screen. And so it is quite simply at elitescoop.com. And elitescoop.com is our host for these things. Now, if you looked at it, even last night, I was spending some time cleaning up. So if you looked at it, even as recent as the past week, there was different categories and tabs and things that were in different places. I spent some time last night simplifying it a little bit and cleaning it up. When you get here, this is your portal for all things Coldwell Banker Elite. Now, there is a portal for all things Coldwell Banker. That's the national franchise, where our franchise fee goes for every transaction. And they provide a number of tools. And so there are two websites that you'll need to go to that have two different purposes. Starting over here, we're going to start over here at Elite Scoop. And when you get to the website, we want you to look at the education calendar. There is a place to submit contracts if you are working with Shaheen. There are tabs for Moxie Works to get to some of the tools we'll talk about in a bit, the recording of the office meetings. And then right here is the brand identity guide. This is in two different places on the site. The brand identity guide can be in either this tile here, or you can scroll until you get down to general marketing information, and the Advertising or Identity Standards book is here. Now, this book, the Brand Identity Guide and Identity Standards, is in an ebook format. And you can access it anytime you want, and you can download it if you wish. This book is your Bible of marketing. Now, we are going to be talking today in our next 2 hours together, when we go over the marketing tools, about brand marketing, which is you as an agent, getting leads, letting people know what you do for a living, keeping in touch with them, long-term and short-term marketing engagement. And then we will also be talking about product marketing. And for real estate, product marketing is the listing. And so there are two different collection of tools that are here. And it's important for you to know that from a marketing concept, your listing isn't the same as brand marketing. Now, in kind of antiquated mindsets and marketing of days old, really one of the notable ways to get in front of a consumer was to quote unquote get leads from your sign calls. And so for those of you who are new, you'll hear some of your old school agents talk about, I'm getting sign calls. We still get calls off of signs, but they're very rare. What typically happens is that the consumer Googles the address that they're sitting in front of, or looks at an app with, GPS information. Product marketing should not be confused in this context, or really any contemporary marketing world, with brand marketing. So taking a listing is with the purpose of honoring the trust of the consumer to sell the house, not just to get more clients out of it. That is an ancillary benefit of taking more listings and getting your name out there, but it is not the only way to do it, nor is it the same as brand marketing. Brand marketing is you as a person, and then product marketing will be the property. You as a person, you as an agent, have another of not only resources available to you, but also some guidelines and rules. And so the identity standards establishes for you both the a summation of all the regulation, but also some marketing consistency rules and guidelines. And so when you go into this ebook or the PDF, we've got our very first page here is going to talk about what the titles are of the logos. So if you go in, and I'll show you later, when you go into our brand serve or marketing on my CBE desk, and for the franchise stuff, you can download our logos. And if you download them, you're going to have 21 different folders. And each of those folders will say vertical, blue, vertical, black and white, vertical, grayscale. Or horizontal blue, horizontal grayscale, horizontal black and white. And it's because it's telling you what the vertical horizontal is telling you what this looked like, and then the color is obvious. So for our logo, the only logos we are permitted to use are those that are provided by Coldwell Banker, because we want some brand consistency. Now, there is something called brand recognition is secondary to frequency illusion. So when you were getting your real estate license, you probably started thinking about companies. And at some point you started seeing signs by the roadside or up and down the streets. And how many of you, just a quick show of hands, like all of a sudden, like everything is at Coldwell Banker, like everything is blue and every sign I see, or everything is red for Keller Williams, or everything is that god awful, what the hell are they thinking, yellow at Weichert. Yellow is the freaking ugliest color ever. Every marketing school says don't use yellow unless you have to, and then they have used it. So, but that frequency illusion, if you're looking at, let's say you're looking at Teslas and you're thinking about buying one, or something in our subconscious that triggers the recognition of every Tesla that goes by, or every Jeep, or whatever car it is. And that's what we're trying to do, is trigger that. It is not simply just us being, hey, we're being rigid about your logo. We are trying to ensure that there's immediate trust built in through seeing symbolism, because we are pictograph based people. We that's why in caves we drew things, is that storytelling was based on visual cues. And we learned very early, before we even had organized education, we learned very early that symbols had an impact, and our brain registers them. So these logos are just as much about brand consistency as it is generating business. And so you'll see here that even down to the color and the frame and the logo, we want to be a consistent messaging. And you can get those logos out of my CBE desk. I'll show you where when we get there. And then you will see some guidelines here. And again, guidelines are both for brand professionalism. It is, and additionally, it is for just look bad. All right, let me just show you what I'm talking about. Under the do not, see where the key is? Okay, on the left-hand page, you see the no shadowing or squaring, no changing the color. And then you'll see underneath of the key. It's amazing to me whenever I do marketing coaching with agents, and they're like, get a logo, and I'm like, cool, what do you want in your logo? And they're like, I want to be unique. I want to be special and different. I want to stand out on all the other logos, but also I need a heart or a key. That'd be awesome. Can you get a heart or a key, or a house or a rooftop? Those things don't have to be there. You can figure out a logo anywhere for you as a personal brand, but it can't be enjoined or connected to the Coldwell Banker logo. It's got to stay in the same, or it's got to stay as a separate entity, a separate visual. See where it's discolored, and then drop shadow. If you look about 3/4 of the way down the page, there's some drop shadowing. Some of you are like, but I really liked the design in the 90s. That everything was drop shadowed the hell. Mm-hmm. It actually is very hard on your eyes, and it makes your eyes have to refocus. This is why designers got away from drop shadowing and that black back fuzzy cloud looking background on there, and went to a more flat or minimalist design in the current age. And then over on the right hand side, you see adding sold, making it all cockeyed. I don't know why people do that. It looks horrible. So there's some do's and don'ts there for usage. And yeah, as we go through, there's also some examples of the logo placement for certain products. And today, before we get through this, I will show you where you can go and order Coldwell Banker branded gear if you want to have some. Is some value in having your logo and your branding and your gear on. So I will tell you that personally, when I am done working, I'm done working. I don't want to be in a grocery store with my name badge on. I don't want to, I want to get my job done and go home. Especially for those of you who are brand new, you want to talk to you about real estate. At some point, you'll get to the point in your career where you're like, all right, I need a break. I'm out having a drink. I really don't need anybody to walk up and look at my name tag. There's some gear that's there, and these are samples of how that gear placement would be. The next thing we get to on page 8 is the and just about anything you're using. If you're using Canva, if you're ordering special things, if you're looking at designing flyers, they're going to ask you for what's called an RGB code. And so if you look in each one of these colors, there is a RGB code. For example, the blue here is 133.105, or it'll ask you for the hex code, and that has every code gives you a very specific texture. This is how we create and consistently stay with colors in a marketing or design world. Now, and again, as I go through these tools and resources, remember, part of you is to be the chief marketing officer of your brand. Each one of you is a business entity, you're a brand, you're the chief marketing officer, and there's going to be some stuff here that you're going to just hold on to this book and come back to later when it comes time to design and create something. So if I'm in Canva, for example, creating a new buyer presentation or listing presentation or flyer brochure, and I want to get that color exactly right to match being consistent, 012169 is the right color. Back in 2019, we rebrand, when we got new logos and colors and everything. And I am not kidding when I tell you, I woke up at 2 a.m. going 012169. 0121, because we had to type it 4 billion times. So 012169 is Coldwell Banker Blue. The other colors here in the spectrum are what we call companion colors. These are colors that specifically match the flow, the similar look and finish of the primary color of 012169 blue. And then you can see on the right-hand side, the color palette gives you some additional colors of primary colors and secondary colors that are already matched for you to keep consistency with your marketing. Now, this is not for you to create a brochure and go, I'm going to do this. This is my self-competition here. I want to see how many of these colors I can get on one page. Now, remember, when you are looking at something as a consumer, as a person, each color makes your brain have to change focus, and there are emotions, there are connections, there are histories with colors. This is, green is finance and money and security, blue is trust and value, it is anger and passion. Those things consistent with most consumers. So these are not designed for you to use as many as possible. Typically, you want a primary and secondary color. That's it. This is why you don't see tertiary and all these other things. You really don't want more than 2. And then again, you can see here what those colors look like. That make a splash graphic is great. It's got that teal. I go back here to my secondary colors, and I can see that Caribbean and Pacific match the primary colors of the waves here on the Make It Splash design. Anyway, so you can see the colors and how they match together and how you can make them look nice and professional. The next area is photography. These are the approved fonts. Now, we'll say, unlike the logo, you can only use the logo the way line. That's it. With fonts, if you want consistency, Mitos Noir is the primary font that Coldwell Banker uses for everything. But we really don't care what fonts you use, to an extent. If you use Comic Sans in the professional world, someone needs to come out and zap you. I don't tase you. I don't know. Comic Sans is the most ridiculous and unprofessional font. If you go on, there are Reddit pages and Twitter accounts just make fun of people using Comic Sans all day long. Everybody's like, it's my favorite. If you're a kindergarten teacher, that's awesome. You all know who you Comic Sans are. Anyways, so Arial is a perfectly fine font. Times New Roman is okay. It's not quite contemporary because it's got the serifs on there. But just consistency of font. I love the Helvetica font. Century Gothic is another one I use all the time. And my wife kind of laughs about it. She goes, there's a font out there, and every I think of you because it's the font I use for everything. That's brand recognition. When even you're spelling, I think of you when I see letters. I mean, that's, you know, you have mastered marketing at that point. So those are the fonts that you can use. You can find them online. If you want them, you can't find them, send me an email. I'll send you the font to add to your font book on your computer. All right. And then there's some examples of how you can use these together and what they look like. There's some example of what our yard signs look like using these things. And again, you have to stay within the brand. So if you're thinking you want to design your own sign, you want custom signs, they still need to match the brand standards we have. And again, if you go out and look right now and drive around your marketplace, you're going to see Keller Williams, I think, is the worst. Every one of them wants to be different. Well, great, but in general, because there's so many of us out there as agents, no one's really seeing your consistent brand as an agent, right? They're not seeing your logo or your symbol and going, oh, that's what that means. They're seeing the franchise or the company brand that they see much more often in the marketplace. So we do tend to limit, if you will, what we want it consistent. We tend to limit how crazy you're going to get. Any custom design that you do for signage, I have to approve. So send it to me so I can look over it. I've never had anybody do something so crazy we had to say no to. We want to make sure it looks similar to what's order your signs for you and get them custom for you. They'll look like this, either with or without a photo, or with or without your personal logo. And you can see here in the bottom right-hand corner, Angel Piontek's logo here is the A, and P is a plant because she's a big plant person. And so she found a logo that matches that. And in that particular model, she wanted the logo there. Other people like Alexandra wanted her photo there. You get to choose which one you do. The one thing I would suggest is to remember these signs are made of high quality material. They're going to last a long time. And if you're someone who like to, I don't know, change your hair color, or I don't know, if you're somebody who's going to get older, understand that you're going to 5 years from now still have this sign. You're not going to look the same you do 5 years later than you do now, and that picture may not match. And so I have my picture on mine. The second I got it, I was like, oh, that's great. I looked at it a year later going, I need to do headshots. So if you're a person of regret, as I am, maybe a headshot isn't for you. I do like it. I think it does give that, it's the first handshake the consumer sees. So a nice smiling professional headshot. I'm chock full of opinions today. You're going to see some agents who have the power pose on their signs. All that says is you're a jerk. That's what people see when they see the power pose. They don't see you as a mighty superhero agent. They don't see you as like some top producer. It just looks I'm big into surveys, and customers don't like that stuff. So a smiling, squared in headshot is good. That humanizes the process and the handshake. It makes people more comfortable. Don't try to get too crazy with it. And yes, we will let you put pictures with you and your dog on there. No, we will not let you put pictures of you and your cat, because no one's going to call you if you're a cat person. Just kidding. There are people who like cats. I haven't met them yet, but they're there. All right. Okay. So promotional stuff, again, when we get to these pages, you can see the examples of business cards. If you look on this page, that the logo, the white logo that's repeating, it's kind of got that Louis Vuitton repeating look on there. That's called a step and repeat, because it's alternating sizes, alternating shapes rather, and it's repeating itself. That step and repeat design is still very popular, especially like in the higher end properties. I personally like less information on my card on each side, so they'll flip it over if they want to. And so I have content on both sides of my card, which again is an option that we have for you. If it's too much stuff on there, and let's talk just real quickly about this. If there's too much stuff on there, people's brains look at that and go, what am I supposed to do? It's 2023. Why the hell do you have a fax number on your business card? You just, no, I'm just kidding. Just go to the fax number card. But honestly, so I have a card that was given to me recently by an agent. And not only like the whole card was like, I'm a #1 producer. And I'm like, I'm not sure where that person's #1 of, because they didn't have enough business to be #1 anywhere. But that was in big bold letters, which is not what the consumer wanted. They wanted a way to reach you. They also had 2 email addresses. They had a domain name, they had a cell phone number and an office number. Virginia regulations stipulate, actually Maryland and DC apparently don't care. Virginia says you have to have at least one way of reaching you. That's the only requirement on your business card. Having all this extra stuff isn't necessary. And I also will speak to, you'll see agents, especially old school agents, that don't have like the fair housing logo and the MLS logo. Those are throwbacks. There was a very brief period of time of 3 years in which real estate agents were required the fair housing symbol on their card. It is no longer required because we are all fair housing agents. It is absolutely required of everyone. And so you don't have to have the symbolism there. This is the same as why you'll see some older agents who have MLS on their business card. Every agent was a member of the MLS. Well, now virtually every agent is a member of the MLS. And so there's no reason, it doesn't differentiate you, and it just takes up space. So cleaner is better. Your cell phone, your name, your email address, and your web address is probably the only critical elements on there. We like putting out the address where you work so people know, where they can stop by and drop off gifts, because that happens all the time. If you're a new agent, they will stop by and drop off gifts every day. They won't, but they'll send you letters, or they want to know where your office is in case they need to deliver something. And so they'll use that information. And anybody who is, under the age of 300 is now scanning your card the second you get it right into their phone using the camera. And you want to have all the information there easily read. The if you put on there, the less likely that scanner software is going to work. It's going to get confused. So help out the computers and the robots and the people who like just, the bare information. Now, we also have what we call supplemental content. If you are certified in global luxury, or you are a commercial agent in the commercial division, there are logos for you, and that's different. I don't think anybody on here got qualified for that. And then we just look at our style guide. Kind of, this is a big pet peeve of mine. Your marketing needs to be about them, not you, not me. And so lifestyle content is very important. The more you can put out of people doing things and engaging the word around them, the more people will start to connect with your marketing, because they like going biking, they like going for rides, they like playing in the sprinklers, whatever it is. And then there's some compliance issues. I'm not going to spend any time on this today, other than to say in the back of the book, I have created a very simple summary of the code of ethics requirements, the regulatory requirements for Virginia. This does not have DC and Maryland yet. We weren't quite active there in 2019 enough to do that. And the brand guidelines, if there's any rules. We've also added, this is a big, I said I wasn't going to go down this path, but this is an important one. The National Association of Realtors has trademarked or registered the word realtor. The only proper way to use that is all capital letters with a registered trademark afterwards. I don't do that because when it was registered, we didn't have this online world. Now, if you say something in all capital letters, basically you yelling. And so I don't use all capital letters. I do use the capital R. And then otherwise I will use, the word realtor, hopefully spelled correctly. But you are not allowed, if you're creating username, Twitter, or an email address, or a website, the National Association of Realtors does not permit you to use adjectives with the word realtor. So the only way you can use the word realtor is with your name. So cherishrealtor.com is perfectly okay. Gainesville Best Broker or Gainesville's Best Realtor is not okay. That makes sense to everybody? You can only use the word realtor with your full name in any type of branding or username or anything like that. I'm just going to give you 2 cents of advice here and say there's really no benefit to putting the word realtor in your URL, in your username, or any of the other stuff. In the next 3 months, I will be doing a class on search engine optimization and how Google finds you. That keyword that people used to put in their URL because it did matter, it doesn't more. And so you don't really need it in your username. 100%, there are 2 attorneys at the National Association of Realtors. Their only job is policing that trademark. And they will 100% send you cease and desist letters if they see it on your Twitter account or your Facebook account or a web address or anything else. And there's a whole bunch of snitches. They're going to get some stitches, but those snitches, those other real estate agents will 100% drop a dime on you if they see the hint of using the word realtor wrong. So there's really no deep benefit to it. And if you have any questions, just call me and I will happily go through those rules with you, check what you're doing before you spend any money or time on it. and go from there. So that's just a quick review of the identity standards book. That was to kind of help you identify some of the basic marketing concepts and where you can go find those rules again, the colors, the links to the logos, and all that. Any questions about the identity standards guide? Daniel's already sleeping. It's like I'm unisom to him. He's just like, it's great. I'll take a nap. I won't have a headache afterwards. Awesome. Sharonica is in a Chick-fil-A Jesus chicken coma over there. All right. I got the holy Chick-fil-A sauce. By the way, a kid I went to school with created Chick-fil-A sauce. Probably the only notable thing he's done in his life, but it was awesome to know that. All right. Okay. We've done it right there in Spaltatucky Mall. All right. So next section is education. We're not talking about that today, but you need to get educated. You're a knowledge worker. You have to know things. It never ends. Never, ever, ever ends. I spoke to someone recently, like, I've been doing this for 38 years, which is the preamble always to a dumb statement. And he's like, I don't want to learn anything new. I'm retiring in 4 years. Well, you've just screwed your clients because they hired you for what you know, and it changes every month. So education is a big part. There are some library classes here. I will touch on only one or two. The time management class, if you're feeling overwhelmed already, that's the class for you. And also the, well, social media tips is a pretty good one-off, but yeah, we'll stop there. There'll be some other recordings that we do, and I'll send out to you. I decided I didn't want to go down the path. Well, I do. I'm just full of twists and turns and pivots here today. Just keep up. Anyway, over here, up here at the very top, if you hover over these menu bars and you look at micro learning, contract training, listings, lead generation. Lead generation training, I will tell you, is a little bit on the older side. We need to re-record all this series, but the concepts have still remained true. It's just the graphics look like crap, so I'm embarrassed by it because this was, 5 years old, 4 years old. But the concepts are all true. The information is still accurate. Some of the tools we mentioned in there we have now upgraded, and so they may be different, but it's a good primer for lead generation marketing, which is different than product or brand marketing. All right, as we scroll down there, the programs, if you have a client to place for Relo, you want to look at global luxury stuff, or you have a friend or family member who you think would be a good agent, you can go here. And then we get on the listings. And we get to listings, this is the product marketing page. Now, when we go into these pages, and I'll tell you that I have reestablished myself as the marketing director. I was for a number of years, and then we had someone named Angel Piontek. Many of you met her. She's what we call a quitter. She was with us for actually longer than 9 years. She was with us for a long time, went and had some kids, came back, was with us for 9 years and did a great job with marketing. And we just partnered up on this stuff. So I just kept it once she left instead of hiring somebody else to brain dump all this stuff too. So some of this stuff you'll still see her name on at the bottom, but slowly but surely going through and making sure it all has my contact. When you look at these pages, when you scroll to the bottom on almost all these pages, you're going to see the brand champion. That's the staff member who's primarily available to answer your questions. They have the most knowledge of any product. Always start, if you don't know, if you can't figure it out, or if I'm not available, start with your broker. They'll be able to point you to who to get in contact with. But it's almost always going to be either me or Jay or Connor right now, or Liv. Liv is new with us, and so I haven't quite thrown her to the wolves, which is you all. If you didn't know that, you all are the wolves. No, she's new, so she's not quite anything yet, but she'll get there soon enough. And so you'll see, again, the way to contact the brand champion. You can click on our little picture there. It'll take you right to a contact page. You can email or call us, text us. We'll get back to you as soon as we can, usually in the same day. So starting with this product, this is Revitalize. And so each one of these product pages has a little intro as to what it does. We try to summarize it in one statement or so. And the Revitalize program is designed to give listing agents a competitive edge in procuring and selling listings that could benefit from staging and renovation. So the Revitalize program is a partnership with Coldwell Banker. There are downloadable materials on the page that you can look at, and some of the offices have gotten the print versions. Everything's printable now. You get it here, you can print it, put it in a packet, add it to a PDF. The Real Vitalize program is not alone. And when we say not alone, what we mean by that is they don't have to qualify for it. There's no credit check. There's no contract other than the listing agreement. If you have a client that needs up to $20,000, no more than 3% of the sales price, up to $20,000 to do anything, it could be getting a stager to come in, it could be painting, it could be carpet, it could be fixing up the bathroom that's, got problems. We will give them the money to do that, so long as they meet some criteria, primarily that they have a 12-month listing agreement, and that they have a 6% commission, or at least 3% on the list side. And so when you get there, this is something you should go and take notes on. We have tried every variation of these marketing updates and marketing classes, and overwhelmingly, I can throw words at you all day. I can take you through demos. The more information I give you in this 2-hour segment, the more there is to forget. If you want to know these tools, you need to go to the page with them yourself. You need to read the curriculum, the page information. And I should have started off with this. There is no one on staff who knows every single thing we do. I'm probably the closest, and I'm not 100%. There's sometimes I have to ask people things. You are not expected to know 100% of everything we have here, but you need to know where it's important to interject into the client's transaction. And for those of you who are brand new, look, I get it. You're learning contracts and what the hell is an MLS and what is the association doing and all the rest. But there should be something in your mind that goes, hey, dear seller, this place is a dump. I got some money for you. And then you can go back and say, okay, now I'm remembering what that product is. So Revitalize is a way to get them some money. Just quickly going through there is a policy here. The policy here tells you who qualifies and how much money they can get and what you have to do next. I have written down every step of this process in the policy. You're going to get the listing signed. You're going to fill out this content, and then I'm going to call you. We're going to go through the listing packet together. We're going to make sure everything's in order. All that you need to remember is the steps are written down, so your brain doesn't have to focus on that. You need to remember that there is a benefit program for any of our sellers who has a long-term listing agreement, who has 3% commission, and needs a little bit of money to do anything they want. The caveat to that is that whatever service provider they get, they have to get through Angie.com. So if they're getting a painter, they're getting Angie.com used to be Angie's List. So it's Angie.com. If you have a vendor, so the client's like, I need this specialist, and there's nobody on Angie.com, then you can go to, you can get that vendor to go submit information to Angie.com, and they can get approved. The only way a vendor won't get approved is if they have a serious criminal history. Serious being relative. I mean, it's a history related to something with this job that they're trying to do. They won't get approved. It's okay to block those people, right? If they have to register where they live every 2 years. You probably don't want them in the house doing some work when the kids are running around. So that's the only barrier to them. So any vendor that you need that isn't already on their approved list can get approved. And again, this is Revitalize the program just for helping them get a couple bucks to get the house fixed up so it can sell. At the end, they repay the money at closing. So whereas it's not a loan because there's not a bank involved, there's not a credit check and a process and all that, they do have to repay it at closing. Okay. Any questions about that?
Do they
Dan, you're
have to
still
have
awake?
enough equity? Do they have to have enough equity in their house to pay that back, or is that something that they could take a
That's
loan
right.
out?
There has to be 25% equity in the house.
Perfect.
Yep. Yeah, like I said, there's some policy. If you have somebody who's a good candidate for this, call me or call your broker. We'll walk you through the whole process, but I didn't want to give you like every bullet point in the page. But that's a great question. They do have to have the equity in the program. All right. The next thing under listings to help you out is Elite Edge. An Elite Edge brochure we have put together. These are in your offices. These are what we call a 4-panel. So in other words, there's front and back. Put them all together. There's 4 panels. Super fancy in marketing. It's very complex. We have a 4-panel brochure The digital version is here. And this is a aid for you during listing presentations. You bring this in and you tell the client, hey, we're going to target the right buyers. We're going to create a video for your listing. We're going to have photography done for your property. You're going to have a single listing website. There's going to be a whole social media campaign. We're going to be responding to leads in a quick manner. There's marketing pieces that we'll have available for you, whether QR codes in the house or brochures or home book. And signs are professional. These are talking points for you. And yes, this is going to need some updating because CBX is going away because we have so many other things on there that are already working. But you provide the photography, you provide the written description, and you put in MLS. The rest of this is done on your behalf. This is automated through the rest of staff. And so you can go on with confidence to talk to your client. Now notice, this is very intentionally a clean design. When we talk about digital response, there's not 16 paragraphs that they have to read through because people don't read. The bullets are there, the titles are there for you to be able to just speak to this with your clients. And if they have specific questions, there's examples and things we can provide to you. But this is for you to be able to chat with them about how you're different, how you're going to get their house sold in that marketing, in the marketing world. All right. So we call it a lead edge, and that's just a title we give, a marketing title we give the totality of tools and resources that are used to help get the home sold. Then we have MoxieWorks, and I'm actually going to put a pin in that because I'm going to do that at the end to kind of show you what those tools look like. The next tool that you have is called Updater. So Updater is a program that, again, is automated for you, so you don't have to do a whole lot with this. What Updater does is when a contract is received on a listing or contract is ratified for a buyer, your client will get an email from a product called Updater. Now, your talking point is, dear buyer, dear seller, one of the many amazing reasons you would want to work with me is that I'm going to help you with your moving process. Now, I would recommend that you go, everybody has an Updater account. At some point, you need to go into Updater, make sure your headshot, your pretty picture, your face is uploaded, your contact information is accurate. Because this is sent to the client, again, it's automated, which means you're going to get an email reminder, but you don't have to do anything else. Updater is going to send an email to your client that says, hey, you live at 123 Main Street, moving to 123 Main Street from Virginia to Colorado. It gives them a list of all the utility companies they're using now, gives them the contact information for all the utility companies and where they're moving. It also forwards their mail for the post office. So it'll do it, if you don't know if you know this, but the post office will forward your first class mail for 1 year. To do it for year 2, you have to go back a year later and do it. Updater actually goes there later, says post office, continue forwarding the first class mail for another year. Updater will email your client and go, hey, this is Matthew. It makes it sound like it came from you. Congratulations. I can't believe it's been a year since I helped you sell your home. I hope you're really enjoying where you're living now. Oh, by the way, if you weren't aware, the post office only forwards your mail for a year. You have to take action to do it for year 2. Don't worry, I already did that for you. It'll also give them another email that gives them discounts on things. And so for any of you who are military or you've worked with military clients, the military move process has a very specific checklist, color coding system, all the rest. There is a heavily discounted program in Updater. There's many of them. There's U-Haul discounts, there's moving boxes, and a whole bunch of other stuff. There's a very heavily discounts that all appear to come from you as an agent that the consumer can engage and avail themselves of. For example, that box system you go in and your client will say, I have a 2,000 square foot home with 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. I'm moving from here to here. And the little website where they can go and order will say, okay, on average, you're going to need X number of boxes of X number of sizes. You're going to need X number of black pens. You're going to need X amount of tape. You're going to need X amount of cardboard boxes. And oh, by the way, these are all recycled boxes, so you'll feel good about your life. And they click a button and it sends them this whole moving package for very little money. And again, if they're Reload. It's got the whole military reload package for their land moves in there to make it even more convenient. And all of this appears to come from you, the discounts that you and all the rest. This is another value added service that we have for them. And again, it's automated for you. Pause for questions. No? Okay. Now, the next one is Paradigm. And this is there are Paradigm and Cloud CMA are two systems that have twins. They have other programs that we offer to you that do the exact same thing. You can choose which one you're going to use. They have both of them have pros and cons. Very few cons, but pros. We had Paradigm and Cloud CMA in place well before Moxie was ever an option for us. And so Moxie has a relatively similar component there. I will tell you now, there will be a sunsetting of Paradigm and Cloud CMA at some point in the future, but we want to make sure Moxie is doing all the things they promised in a similar way. So I'm going to tell you what this is now, because we're probably going to have it for at least another year. Paradigm automatically creates an entire marketing suite of tools. So you put your listing in MLS, Paradigm's going to go grab that listing. It's going to create a video, and the video is going to have the photos that you posted, and it's going to have a voice reading over your listing description. So I want you to think about that when you're listing description, that whatever you're writing is going to be articulated in voiceover for the video. Now, that is going to happen within 24 hours of your listing going active. If you don't like it, by the way, I was opening my phone. Isn't that the cutest little grandchild you've ever seen in your life? Like, this is what I see on my phone. I'm so happy. Anyways, there is a Paradigm,
by the way.
Yeah, thank you. I'm quitting my job and gonna become a full-time nanny now, like I said in the meeting the other day. Kevin called me afterwards. He goes, "Are you serious?" I'm like, if I could swing it. Anyways, on the phone, you can have the Paradigm app. And what the Paradigm app allows you to do is you can re-record your voice over the same video. So if you don't like what it says or how it sounds, you could go through and re-record on top of it. You can also alter the order of the photos. You can add things to the website. You can't do a voiceover in anything other than your phone, but on the website, you can log in and get all your assets. And so, excuse me, in Paradigm, and again, all the login stuff is right there on the page if you forget where it is. So over here on my listing on Antioch, I've got it's land listing. So calm down if you're like, he's only got 3 photos. It's land. There's only so many things you can do with that. Look, guys, here's more dirt. Anyways, so here I can create scenes from these photos to create more information and resources. I can see the auto voice narration, so I can edit it. And I've chosen Emma because she's got a little Irish accent. Emma and I are good friends for marketing. Anyways, I can choose the type of voice, male or female, different accents on there, and the quality of it. If I have a 3D tour, I can add the 3D model. I can choose what music's on the video. I can choose what the website looks like, all the rest. So all here gives you the options to do these things. Under marketing, I can go click on email distribution, real estate distribution, and it'll send it to the social media. But we already do that for you. So this is like if the house has been in the market for 3 months and you're like, okay, I got to do something and start all over. You can go here and reestablish and restart the process. I can get links to all things here. I can share it on any of the social media platforms. I can manage the leads and inquiries that have come in from that site here. You'll get emails every time that happens. So you can just go look and see what's here. And you're going to go find the single listing website, and you can decide how you're going to share what they call a tour here. Now, program. Did I talk about that? I did talk about the skins. That's the one thing people ask me what a skin is. A skin is going to tell you what the site looks like. So you can choose from 2 different themes. So I'm sorry, I opened another window, so let me share. So this is, again, a website that's already created. This is one of the themes there. And when you scroll down, it's going to tell you the asking price, MLS number. It connects to realtor.com. If they trust that more, they want to go there. With land, there's not a whole lot here. With your listing, there's going to be photos, there's going to be a video embed, a map. You can add stuff to this page. You can share in social, your contacts there. They can schedule a showing with you. You can go grab the flyer. It's already been created for you for this listing. Now that, again, that's just an example of the paradigm stuff, actual residence that you're listing. Maybe this is a better one. This is better. All right. So this is the residential. This is a listing that's got the photos there. And when I scroll down, here's the gallery of photos. Here's the visual tour or the video. So if you have it automatically created, you can't hear it, but it's reading that as it's doing. That's called the Ken Burns effect, by the way, when you see a camera scrolling across a stationary photo. It's reading that. And again, there's a way to contact you. This is what the consumer sees. There's more information about the property here. You can add to it. There's a map. They can share it. There's a flyer they can download. We've got like 5,000 flyer programs. So you can add more information, school, weather, the mortgage company is on there, everything. All right. So that's an example of paradigm. Get back over here for time's sake. And again, we've got a list of what it does and how those things work. They can also chat with you, by the way, if they go to the single listing website and they start like a conversation, it's going to show up in your text message on your phone. So I just love seeing the baby there. I didn't mean for that to happen, but on the text message on your phone, and you can start engaging them actually from the website. And you can chat with them, but you do have to make sure that you go into Paradigm and set up your profile and have your cell phone number in there for that to happen. And so again, it goes down and tells you all the things you need to know about that product. All right, the next Cloud CMA. And again, you can log in here. And the one thing about Cloud CMA that Moxie doesn't have yet is that Cloud CMA works with both Bright MLS and Central Virginia MLS. And so if I'm in there, if I've logged into, and this is important, you need to go to your Bright MLS, you need to go to your Central Virginia MLS, you need to log into Cloud CMA with the same credentials as your Coldwell Banker Elite Cloud CMA. If you log in with the credentials the MLS sent you for Cloud CMA within the MLS system, it'll be the very limited free version of Cloud CMA and not the more robust version where we've added unique content to it. So I'm going to go ahead and log in here because I want to just show you about what this looks like. And in Cloud CMA, you can create tours. You can either do a market analysis for sellers or a buyer tour for buyers. When I start talking and teaching you about, like we do our ABR classes and we start talking about buyer representation, I am an incredibly strong proponent of doing a market analysis for the buyer before they make an offer. It is a huge risk reduction tool, but it also greatly reduces buyer remorse because they've seen the numbers beforehand. They've got justification that the asking price that they're presenting is justified through other comparable properties. And it's so easy and simple to do. So
see the split screen for the Cloud CMA. Thanks.
I don't know what you did wrong. Gosh, do you even know how to use a computer, Terry? All right. I will try to remember to use the share button in the future. Anyways, okay. So, oh, we were still showing you the pop-up, weren't we? Okay. So over here in Cloud CMA, for example, I have this buyer tour here. So I'm going to show you the end result first. So the buyer tour, let's say that I have a buyer. I clicked one button after I added the comps. And this is now my buyer presentation. This is a PDF that you can use when you're sitting with a buyer with all of our numbers and information and data. These are all talking points. So for example, dear buyer, here's our tour before we go look at houses. And here's the information about the property that we're going to go see. Virginia law requires a written agreement if we're going to help. That is the law. So now there's already talking points. So they see this, and it's not just you making it up, it's in your presentation. We talk about our need to keep things confidence. We talk about online reviews, and we'll talk about that system in just a bit. I during my listing appointment and my buyer appointments, I do tell them, hey, I'm going to do a great job because that's my nature. I'm going to work 110% because that's my nature. And at the end of this transaction, if you do not feel like I gave you 110% and protected your clients, your family's interest rather, you're going to get a chance to give us feedback. And so we're going to ask you to look out for that email. I want to plant a seed in their mind that there is some accountability for the promises I'm making them right off the bat. And then at the end of the transaction, I'm going to send them, actually, we as a company send on your behalf testimonial trees for feedback. And that feedback comes to you and to your broker. If it's negative, it's a coaching moment. You and the broker will talk about whether these clients were jerks and they would never give anybody a good review anyways, or are there some things that legitimately you could do better? If it's negative, it doesn't get posted anywhere. Nothing happens with it. If it's positive, however, social media shareable assets are created, and it's all posted to your website and to Google and to realtor.com and a whole bunch of other sites. And so reviews are very important. How many of you have actually, looked at a review before making a buying decision? Okay. I certainly do all the time.
Yeah.
So they're very important to your marketing and to your brand recognition. And so we have a tool that's set up to do that. And because Cherish made me do this properly, now I can't find the window. Okay, there it is. So then we talk about why we're the right buyer agent for them, our advice that we give, understanding that what we know about the contract is the most important thing we can do, and negotiating for them is the most important thing we can do. We're going to walk them through inspections. We're going to show them some resources and tools to help them out. Anyway, I'm not going to talk about every one of these because I don't have the time, but you can see that these slides are here. You can also elect not to use them. You can choose the ones that don't match what you want to do, or you can add your own. For the market analysis, sorry. And there are videos on how to do these things embedded on those site page on Elite Scoop, which is why I'm only kind of showing you the end result now, not the how to, because you can go follow that on your own. And again, what I have found is if you go do it on your own, you can stop the video, play with it until you're caught up, and then start the video and go do the next step so that you get to play along and follow along. So this is an example of my listing presentation, and I'm doing this with my iPad. In my case, you could do it with a laptop. I do have the PDF version and I'll print out for them, but we're going to start here with the agent resume so they can get this link, and you do what you want to do. You and your broker need to sit down and figure out what is more natural for you. I send this single listing webpage ahead, so I can grab the link here and send it to my sellers before I even meet with them. So they get my resume here, information about our company here, do all that. If I'm sitting in front of them, I want to go over here to comps, and if I chosen some, again, it's a training model, so I didn't. The comps would show up there, and I could walk them through each of these steps of my presentation here until we get to the end where there's a recommended listing price. And again, those comps are going to come right out of the MLS, and it automatically populates. So I can either add 3 to 6 MLS IDs, or I can go into Bright MLS or into CVMLS, choose them, and then send them straight to the Cloud CMA tool to create my market analysis. And all of this content is populated based on suggested asking price and location. And so you don't have to worry about going in and editing any of this. It's already done for you. You can create your own templates if you wanted to as well. So Zach, they've been clients several times, and they've given me permission to use their actual analysis, especially since the house sold for more than we put it in the market for. They give me permission to keep this model. So when I went to talk to them, and by the way, the teaching moment, the fact that I have worked with them for several houses in the past, I didn't let my foot off the gas when I went to this meeting. I wanted to go in with my professional market analysis, with my new tools, things I didn't have the last time I worked with them, and all the rest, because you don't know if you're just a courtesy or not. You also don't know if there's somebody knocking on going, I'll do it for 4%. I know Matthew's a 6% guy, right? Which would be a total violation of the law. But let's put that aside because agents sometimes do that. I still want to go in and because I want them to be so confident when they sign that listing agreement with me because of these visual tools, because of my marketing approach, that when things get challenging, they're not blaming me. They know they picked the right professional to do this. And so anyway, so you see the template looks the same here. And yeah, looks like my comps got pulled out of there because it's been a while since I've used that template. So anyways, and so it starts with a clicking create a new report. You choose the type of report you want to there. And when you get to certain stages, you can just copy the MLS ID, for example, in there, and it'll create all these resources for you. Right. So that's an overview of what Cloud CMA does. And by the way, if you get to this, you're like, I'm just not a self-learner. I really need somebody to do this with me. Your first step should be with your broker. Talk to them and see if they have time to sit with you and kind of go through this stuff. And if not, give me a call and I'll do the best I can to jump on Zoom and help you with it. All right. The next tool after Cloud CMA is called Boost. And so Boost is our social media campaign. A couple of things to remember is that the first 5 days after the listing goes active, doesn't matter if it's a holiday or weekend, you hit active in MLS, Boost automatically takes your MLS content and pushes it out on Facebook and Instagram and the Waze app and about 12 other partners with what we call follow ads. So how many of you have clicked on something before and now everything you go to has an ad for that product there, right? So we, having had the grandbaby now, people are sending me links and going, hey, do you think your daughter would like this before I buy it? So I'm clicking the link. And now if you go into Instagram, you think I'm a 24-year-old pregnant woman because every ad is about baby products. And there's apparently something called Tush Baby, TUSHBAI. Y'all, that sounds like a drag queen name, right? Tush Baby, that is not a baby product. I would definitely go show starring Tush Baby. I'm just saying, I don't understand the names that they give some of these products. They all sound so inappropriate. Ways. So you can log into HomeSpotter. Here's the matter. Here's what agents don't get about this. This is an incredibly cool tool. So when I go into HomeSpotter, it's going to give me some analytics. And we talk about this in other classes, but I just want to say, if I'm going for a price reduction, the analytics in HomeSpotter, Zillow, Realtor, my single listing website through Paradigm, look, we had 23,000 views in the past month. Nobody likes your house. That's a price issue. I'm doing my marketing job, right? Don't say it that way. For the new people in the room, we're gonna say it much, much nicer. Like, bless your house. Anyway, so we're gonna go and find the property, and I can look here and see there's 76 clicks. There's been 864 ad views. And so I'm gonna go to that listing, that product there. Yours is gonna look a little different because I'm in here as the broker. I'm sorry, as the marketing director, not as the agent. And I can see what the ad looks like. Okay, it's going to look like that on Facebook. It's going to look like that on the web, on all the other sites that are out there. Tells me how long it's going to, the ad continues to go. You can choose if you want to, especially if you have a high-end property, to add a video if you paid for one to be done, or you've created one yourself. You can pay more money to get it on more exposure, more sites, or whatever. What I really want you to start doing, for those who aren't doing it, is click on that Engage tab. Notice here, you could see a name and an email address for every person who's actually taken action on social. You may not have known this, but when you sign up for Facebook or Instagram, you are giving them permission to provide your name and email address to marketing entities. And so everyone on Facebook or Instagram or Waze app or the website or anybody who clicked on the ad goes there, and you could see that information. If you click on export leads, it could, hey, hold on. Because of Cherish, I actually have to share what I'm talking about. Ridiculous.
I can't visualize everything.
You shouldn't have to. All right, so I clicked on export and it created a spreadsheet with the consumer's first and last name, what action they took, which I really don't care about what action they took, and their email address, right? And it gives you some more information, like what campaign and who the listing agent is. I don't really care about that. What I do care about is that I can take this spreadsheet, go import it with 2 clicks into my CMA and start them in a buyer campaign. Jessica, I keep shortening her name without asking.
No, it's fine. I have to share because I'm so excited about this with Rachel. She did this on her last listing and took that, exported it, put it into Engage, and she's writing an offer rate like as we speak with the buyer she converted from this.
Very good. That girl, she is on fire.
Let me tell you, I love her. She's doing all the things. This is like just a testament to all of you new agents. Just do the things. It comes.
Yeah. So anyway, this is a way to start building a database. You put them in, and if they don't like it, if they're like, I didn't sign up for this, they can unsubscribe. If they're getting good content, they'll stick with it, unless, maybe they just really weren't interested in selling or buying rather than they wanted to share it for somebody else. So anyways, are you seeing my page now, my website? All right, cool. So this is a nice little trick to get more information here. Again, there's a second thing you have to do on this listing, and Boost. The ad is created automatically for you. You can choose to ignore it if you want, but you're leaving a lot of money on the table if you do. When you go to Boost, as soon as it's oh my God, sorry, Cherish it down with the Jesus chicken and the holy water. Like she has got let me see that. How much water do you have? Show me that.
That's how much I drink at the office every day.
Are you wearing an adult diaper or something? How do you work all day drinking all that water?
I visit the facilities quite often.
Oh my goodness. And it's a
It
lot of
is
work
a
in
lot.
Gainesville because you have to get a key. It's like a private thing to go in
Yes.
there.
Yeah, you
that's a
need
lot.
permission to use the potty here.
Okay, anyways, the potty. All right. So when I Jesus chicken and holy water over there. All right. So when I go to Boost, the day after your listing is active, this should be the very first step in your marketing campaign. Go to edit the seller information. What you're going to do is put the seller's information here. So there's her seller. Don't go screenshotting her information. Those are her sellers, the first and last name. And guess what's going to happen now? Everywhere that those 2 people go, if they have social media accounts, that adds them. Your sellers think you're a freaking rock star, because everywhere they're going to go, they're going to see their listing. They're like, oh my gosh, look at the job that Daniel's doing with my marketing. Look at what Sammy's doing. Everywhere I gone online, I saw my listing, and they should be excited about that. Unless they're professional marketers going, they're just target marketing me. But there's not too many of those people who know how that work out there. So anyways, so seems like a very simple thing. I know a lot of agents are kind of checked out of it, but it's a powerful tool. Yes.
When you're boosting like that listing, is that free or is that?
Yeah. So we run the ad for 5 days for you. You can do all of these things for those 5 days. That listing I showed you, my past clients who I mentioned earlier when I was CMA, theirs ran for 5 days. I got 700 contacts out of it. Now this was a year and a half. Actually, it was the end of 2020. So that's when everybody was going absolutely crazy. But 700 of my contacts went into Moxie Engage, of which less than 12% unsubscribe. That's pretty good. If you're looking at numbers, if you can keep 50% of your readers after each email, that you're doing something right. About half people unsubscribe.
I have another question. All these tiles, because I have you on my cell phone and I'm looking in the computer, so I'm struggling here. So when I click some of these tile, I have to log in. So do I have to register, or it's my login and my password should be the same? Is that correct?
No, you were sent when you first joined the company email invites to all these accounts, and it told you what email address was set up and then gave you a link to set up a password. If you didn't get that, almost all the tools are set up in your email address for Coldwell Banker. So typically first initial, last name, and coldwellbankerelite.com, or you can email your office administrator and they'll be able to reset your password for you.
Yes, because I tried to go to, I believe it was I don't the one before this one.
Coffee,
And
mate.
it asked me to log. So all right.
Yeah.
Okay,
Um,
thank you.
But you're welcome. Yeah, just email your admin if you can't remember your login, and they can reset it and they can send you a new introduction email. But they would have come from Maryland most of the time, and then the office admin, the ASCs rather take over after that. The other thing I wanted to just share, I know this seems like a lot. If you look at it, really, the Lead Edge helps you present. We'll get to Moxie Works in a couple minutes. Updater helps them move. Paradigm helps you promote. Cloud CMA helps you get the business. Boost helps you promote the business, right? So there's a very simple concept for each one of these. If you go here to CBE resources under documents, I have created a new listing checklist for you, both for prior to your event and then after you got the listing, that outlines where all of these tools fall into place and what you should be doing with them.
Where was
Now the
that?
checklist is it's under documents.
Okay.
So if you go to share Elite Scoop and click on documents at the top, I've already done the hard work for your listings, right? That for the pre-listing meeting and then the post-listing meeting. And so you can go there and get those checklists so you can know what to do to get ready for your meeting. And then once you get the listing, what needs to be done. And all these things are integrated. It's in Word so that you can edit it to your little heart's desire. So if you want to change it, go, hey, I don't like doing that. I don't think that's a good product, or I'd rather use this instead. You can change it. It's just a template to get you started. All right.
Mikey, can I add one more thing to Boost that I have
Hi, Rhoda.
seen happen? Make sure before you go active that you have all your good professional pictures in MLS, because Boost automatically pulls 6 hours, 8 hours after it's active. And it's going to pull whatever pictures are in there. So if you have temporary pictures still, then you're going to lose a lot of the benefits you would have received from Boost. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah. All right. Very good. Thank you. I would also say the same thing. That's actually a good point. I should have mentioned that earlier. And on your listing, remember, it's storytelling. This is way more than I wanted to get into this session. We'll get into other sessions. The order of your photos matter. So from the front door to the lobby to the left, whatever framework in the first floor, then the second floor, then the bottom floor, then outside, and from the left side of the building to the right side of the building. Keeping them in order also helps for your video. So when your video is auto-created through Paradigm or whatever, remember the storytelling, the script that you're writing in your description becomes the automated or audible script rather over the sequence of photos, and they need to align. So again, we'll cover this in other stories and doing marketing. I'm teaching marketing the listing at some point next couple months. It's on the calendar somewhere. But I talk about this flow that we've learned consumers go through. They want to, in the order of photos, walk through a house, and you'll see kind of people just do a bunch of crappy photos in wrong order. It doesn't make any sense. Now more than ever, those photos should be in a reasonable order of joined. So if you take 3 pictures of the master bedroom, those should be together, not just throughout the storyboard, so that people can take the flow through the way they look at their phones and mobile devices when searching. We'll do more in that training later, but okay. So now we're going to get to the general marketing tools. Again, I talked about the identity, the book at the beginning. We're going to talk about keeping current matters. Now, keeping current matters, the Canva account and Core Factor are all what we call premium tools. In other words, you have to pay if you want to use these. So I'm just going to touch very briefly what they are, and then you can go dig into them later. We get a discounted rate, a heavily discounted rate for Keeping Current Matters and Canva Pro. For Core Factor, we get a slight discount that, quite frankly, is so slight, I don't think it's worth really promoting. And Keeping Current Matters, it is a mobile app that you can use to create marketing content. So in other words, they'll have infographics, they'll have a way for you to walk through. You can record your own video. You'll see a lot of our experienced agents are doing this now. They're actually reading a script and little graphics are coming up, and it's all within the app on their phone. Keeping Current Matters is just a way to create more meaningful and engaging concept. I'm actually a big fan of this product. I didn't think I would be when we first picked it up, because I'm like, agents should create their own unique content to be different. There's so many options in here that you can do a whole storytelling campaign and never duplicate anybody else's brand or marketing, even if they're subscribers. It's a very, very strong tool. We, again, normally $1,080, and you're like, this isn't a sales pitch. We're not making money off this. Actually, don't tell Kevin, we're not even breaking even on this, but we think it's such a good tool. We took the hit. We really feel that it's strong. So anyway, so normally we have the premium for our agents, which would be $10,080. It's only $250, but it is a premium thing. If you're interested, if you want a demo, call me. I'll go through and show you what mine does. And you can fill out the form here if you want to sign up for it. The next one is, again, also a premium. This is for Canva Pro. Now, Canva Free will do 50 to 60%, actually probably 80% of what Pro does. Here's what Pro will do. And again, this is at a discount rate if you got it, but it's about, I don't know, it's $90 for the year. I think it's normally $130 if you get it on your own. If you get the Canva Pro through us, we are sharing assets and things with you. I do want to tell you, unless you're like really going to do your own design thing and you're crazy with it and you want to do stuff outside of real estate, you don't need to do this yet, because next month, actually this month, we're in February now, we're going to be launching a new product in CBE Works, which is basically Canva for real estate with Coldwell Banker assets in there. So if you want to do like super powerful, cool things outside of it, you can use Canva. But most of the stuff that you're probably going to want to do to be readily available for you. And I would say hold off, use free Canva for now, hold off and check out what Coldwell Banker is launching for Market Center to see if that's going to do all the things you want to do. But if you do the Pro version, we can add you to the team, which means I can create, or Liv can create content for you, and we can share it throughout the whole company. But again, we're going to be having some of that functionality in the new product coming out. So I would hold off. Just want to let you know it's there. If you already have a Pro account and you want a discount, reach out to me. I can upgrade yours, get you set up on it, and show you where stuff is. Because there are some things Canva will do that the new the new Market Center won't. And then CoreFact. So CoreFact is it's basically direct mailers. And so I want to just talk a little bit about this for a second. Direct mail, the National Association of Direct Mail, the people who are out there trying to get you to use direct mail, did a study, and it said that less than 3% of direct mail pieces are actually viewed by the consumer. Now, what Mail Institute, or I'm sorry, Association wanted you to hear was, you're not doing a good enough job. What I heard was, nobody really gives a crap about direct mail. Okay, now, the difference is, to get them from 3% to 18%, is there had to be an immediate digital call to action. The reason I partner with CoreFact is there's a number of reasons, but one of those is you can go into the account, set up your profile the way you want it, and that doesn't cost you anything. And on this page, there is a link to going into CoreFact and setting it up. You can go into there and there's a video about setting up your campaigns. You can add your profile, add your card, and then when you get a new listing, you can check a box in a cover sheet, and our ASCs will go order your cards for you, your just listed cards or your just sold cards. You still have to pay for the cards, but you don't have to pay for the service or do any of the work to set them up or configure them or design them. That's done on staff. Now, you can do anything. You can do a lot of direct mail through CoreFact if something tickles your fancy. And it's already got our logos, our brand colors, all of our stuff is set up in there. So you can go in and order that if you want to. The reason that we like CoreFact, because it does get close to that 18%, is when you get a CoreFact card, it says, hey, your neighbor down the street sold their home for $390,000. And when you flip over the card actually has the homeowner's name and a URL and QR code that is unique to that seller, where they can scan it or they can go to the web address and get a estimated value of their home, basically a Zestimate. If they take action, you get an email saying, John Smith at 123 Main Street just went into your portal, filled out the information to get this, and now you have their phone number and the email address to follow up with them. Because they took action on your card, can spam doesn't apply unless they tell you stop reaching out to me. So that means you can email them, you can call them until they tell you to stop, because they've engaged you as a business entity through the product advertisement you put out there. That makes sense to everybody? I know you all got like this super in-depth class on can spam and pre-licensing. Yeah, we got you through the test. Now we're teaching you how to be agents. Anyway, so that's core fact. It's direct mail pieces. They have brochures, they have cards, they have a bunch of stuff on there. Take a look if it's something you're like, hey, that agrees with my business. I think I can do that. It's fine. My further advice on that is direct mail works if you are campaigning a neighborhood. So if you're farming a neighborhood, regularly sending stuff out, and they get that frequency illusion where you're giving them stuff all the time, it has a lot of impact. If you're just doing it for the first time in a subdivision, you're never planning on coming back, it's a waste of money. They have to see it consistently, or it doesn't really have much value. This isn't a requirement. This is simply an option. If you're in an area, you got a listing in there. In Zillow, again, these are links here. What a lot of companies don't tell their agents, and a lot of brokers are very antagonistic towards aggregators. I'm not. It's a gift to us if it's used properly. You need to go, no matter whether you plan on ever going there again, to Zillow and Realtor and add your headshot and fill out all your contact information. You already have a profile there. Zillow and Realtor are what believe real estate agents use to sell homes. And so if you say, hey, I'm a professional realtor, I'm good at this, you should trust me, I'm a great marketer, then they go to Zillow and see you don't exist, and there's no headshot, and there's no bio, and there's no contact information. They start to suspect maybe you're a rookie, or maybe you aren't really marketing, or maybe you're disconnected, because they have adopted Zillow and Realtor as being associated with the word real estate. So you have to have profiles there. But I go a step further. We're doing the more advanced marketing classes in your listings. I will show you how to go into Realtor and Zillow and upgrade your listings, adding more content, adding more details. It isn't a surprise. I mean, everybody knows that Zestimates are not usually very accurate. What a lot of people don't know is if you as an agent go in and claim your listing and fill in all the blanks that weren't ported over from the MLS, the number in Zillow magically starts getting far closer. The Zestimate gets far closer to your actual asking price than it was if you don't go with it. And so if you want your asking price to align with the Zestimate, you need to go and put in some information. For Realtor.com and Zillow, they will allow you to also do other more marketing on there that isn't a less. So for example, on Realtor.com, I have a YouTube video for my listing. It could be me talking on my phone or a video, or I paid for or whatever, talking about the house. And we know that listings with videos get 78% more lead opportunities. More people inquire about the property than the listings without videos. And on Zillow, you can download an app called Zillow Premier app. And that allows you to actually walk through the house and record a video through the Zillow Premier app for free that goes on Zillow. Zillow doesn't let third-party videos on there. You got to record it on the app from your phone. But we also automatically push out the listings to Realtor and Zillow. And so your seller's listings will be on there whether you take no action whatsoever. They will be on there and they can find it. And as a reminder at CBE, if someone takes action on your ad, so even if we pay for it, if someone clicks on your boost ad or your single listing website or Zillow or Realtor, that lead goes to you. It doesn't come to us. We don't intercept it. We don't market to it. We don't do anything. Now, what that means is that opportunity, when Zillow and Realtor send you an email saying, hey, somebody wants to know more about that property, this is your moment to call them. Now, they don't want an email with a link to the information they already saw online. They want to know what isn't online, or what can you schedule a time with them. No matter what the action next is by the consumer. So we know that it takes an average of 7 contacts to convert. And so if Cherish was to email me and say, hey, I'd like to see this property you have listed, and I call once and she does call back, and I go, oh, well, I promise you there's some other agent who's making the 7 steps, the phone call, the email, the follow-up, the text, whatever it is. We're going to take we're going to reach out to them. We're going to keep reaching out to them until they get a restraining order. We're going to take that content, immediately go put it into Moxie Engage so that they get an email campaign from us. And I'm still trying to call, text, and email. Does that make sense to everybody? Right? If you get an inquiry from Zillow or Realtor, you're going to try till they die. or the restraining order, whichever one comes first. Now the because again, that person, and just to say this to encourage you even more, because the pet peeve of mine, we're leaving so much money on the table because we're not doing this lead conversion thing well. NAR has done surveys, and consistently for years, about 46 to now 51% of all inquiries wind up buying with somebody within 6 months. Other agents, experienced agents who don't want to learn how to convert or treat people like people are going to say, well, I'm a people person, not a techie person. Y'all, we're in a day and age where there is no difference. Your clients are reaching out on devices, looking on digital devices. 78% of all buyers reach out through their mobile device. It's in our hand all day. This is how they do business. They research and do all those things. If 46 to 50% are turning into a buyer to somebody, it should be you. And agents are very often, because of arrogance more than else, going, I left a phone call, they never called me back, I had to move on to people who are buying right now. No, they were interested in that information. Keep calling, texting, or emailing until they say, hey, we got it, we found what we were looking for, or whatever. Because I promise you the other agents aren't. And this is a good way to start building your business, especially when you have time. And we give you the tools to automate it. You know, that those 7 to 8 times could be through Moxie Engage. All right. The next thing is the Vistaprint Pro Shop. And so if you're looking for some cool stuff, you want a backpack, brochures, bags, whatever the swag is, you can go into the Pro Shop. You do need to Nixie's question earlier. This one, we do not create an account for you. You need to go there to create your account. And so you can log up there, log in. If you click on I'm logged in, probably shouldn't have logged out to do that. Anyways, so Angel and I, before she left, created this store for you. So we already did all the branding, the logo, the coloring, and all that kind of stuff. So you can go order cups and pins and whatever you want on there. And Vistaprint is cheaper than most other providers, and they actually have some fairly good stuff. If you don't have an account, go to this landing page, click on sign up, and then you'll fill out this very information, and it'll get you an account. And then you can go through and look at the stuff that we've created for you in here. Because who doesn't want a box of koozies? Like, you can have them in every cup in your house if you wanted to. Every time you crack open a beer, somebody can be thinking about real estate, because drunk buyers are the best. Anyways. Hopefully you all know that a defense against a signing document is that they were intoxicated. So don't get people to sign stuff when they're drunk.
I have said that to somebody before too.
You're drunk, sign here.
Awesome. Yes.
Wondered how you got married. Totally kidding. Totally kidding. All right. Anyways, so here's all your brand gear. I will say that I feel like most of the sizes are usually a little on the larger side. So if you're an extra large, getting a large probably works okay. Anyways, there's just a bunch of stuff here. I honestly, the marble and bamboo cutting board, if you're looking down here, I didn't realize that was a cutting board. I thought it was like one of those medical pee bags they hang off the side of the bed. I like that. Why is that a branded device here? What are we doing with that? So Angel had to explain it to me. Anyways. Vistaprint is a nice little shop for you to go to. That's why it's on the page. All right. And then photographers, we have a list of photographers. There's no special arrangement with them. This is simply a list that I put together. Actually, it's been a while, of some of the area photographers that do work with real estate agents or do headshots. You're welcome to use anybody you want. This was just a list, especially if you're new, of some people who we have worked with, who we've had good relationships with and done a good job. And then community photos, which we're going to be taking some more. This is a few cameras went out and took a bunch of pictures around the area, some key things, and we have uploaded them here for you to do some, if you need something quick, symbols, the areas you're in. There's probably some community photos. We're going to do another one of these field trips when in the summer, or probably closer to the end of spring rather, where we're just going to get a bunch of people with cameras and a good eye, and we're going to take pictures of everything around, and it's in all of our territories, and upload them here so we can all share and collaborate with, if you need something for in a pitch for all right. So transaction stuff, the transaction things are automated for Testimonial Tree. Testimonial Tree, again, is the way that we collect, and there's a video here explaining how we do it, feedback at the end of a transaction. This is sent out on your behalf to your clients. If it's negative, nothing happens other than you and the broker get it. If it's positive, you, the broker, still get it, and then it publishes to everywhere else out there. If you're using the Moxie websites that CBE is offering you, it's automatically added to your website. If you have a private website or you did something on your own, let me know and I will send you the code for yourself to put on your website, so that your testimonies rather will be on your page. But you do need to spend just a couple minutes, go watch the video so you at least understand what it is and how it works. There's a few extra things you can do to help promote yourself that are covered in the video. But it is exactly what it sounds like. It's a way for us to collect testimonies and send them to you. Get them from your clients and send them out on your behalf.
I've got a question about that.
Go ahead.
Connor said that Google was one of the better places. Have we found any way to make the testimonial tree transfer over to Google yet? Or we do have to have them fill out 2 separate testimonies?
Connor's a dirty liar. No. Google has become rather the #1 place for these reviews. There is a way to log in and push them out to that, but it requires your client's consent. So there's an extra step. And unfortunately, but unfortunately it has not automatically tied to that because Google doesn't allow automation. Neither does Zillow. It doesn't allow automation of feedback. They want authentic feedback through the client's login. So Testimonial Tree will encourage your client to take the information and post it, but it won't let us automate. Okay,
perfect. So, but if we tell them, hey, when you fill out that one, if you can push it to Zillow as well as Google, they can do that from that testimonial tree?
That's right. Yep.
Perfect. Okay.
That's right. Yep. Okay. The Realtor Property Resource is actually a product that every one of you have who are members of the Realtor Association. So I saw a bunch of you just got sworn in. Awesome. Now that you're sworn in and you've paid your dues, you have access to the RPR. The RPR is such a very in-depth and comprehensive tool that it is a whole different class on its own, but it does let you get some more the brief part of it. And this is my absolute favorite tool in the world for agents. It does let you log in and get much more information about the property than what's available and even tax records, down to, it'll even tell you if it's pending a foreclosure. And the one thing that isn't in the training materials that I'll tell you is in your Central Lock app you have on your phone, go under settings and you can add RPR as an automatic report. So the second you use your key to open the door to a house, the RPR report will come up on your phone. Several years ago now, one of our agents had the RPR report on their phone. They unlocked the door. The report comes up and there's a red border at the top that said this is pending foreclosure. The listing agent allegedly did not know there was a foreclosure pending. So the buyer agent knew that. They told the buyer offered a less than asking price offer, taking advantage of the fact that sellers were pending foreclosure, and got the house for less money. Also caused some drama because the wife nor the listing agent knew the house was going to foreclosure. The husband hadn't paid the bills or told anybody. Okay, anyways, that's a great divorce, I think. But anyway, so RPR Sky Slope is how you manage your transactions, and that smiling face is Laura, who's your transaction coordinator, who my guess is you all have met, and if not, should meet. For those who are new, you get your first 3 transactions. Laura and her team will manage your transactions for you for the first 3, so you can focus on all these tools and checklists and all these things. And then after that, it's an optional service with us. Additionally, we have affiliates, and so we just signed 2 days ago with 210 but American Home Shield, also known as Coldwell Banker Home Warranty, and 210 Home Warranty, Movement Mortgage, and Shaheen Law are affiliates. And what that means is they invest in our business. So Shaheen Law Firm not only helps us when we're stuck, with our attorney's advice and counsel. If you do settlements with them, there's some perks. One of those is if you're taking a new listing, you can get a free title search before the listing even goes active Cherish just doesn't apply to DC or Maryland, but it does apply to Virginia. And so I'm going to take a listing just to make sure that there's no liens on the property or unreleased trusts or anything else. They'll do that for free. And so you can go into this little widget here and go to submission form to put your contract in, or you can email this email address here, and they'll send you, I need to update some of the stuff on this page. They will send you the form and do the title search for you. The title search is also in the title search request is also in the Sky Slope library under Coldwell Banker. And so you can get that signed by the sellers because you have to have their consent. The title search is done. It has saved a lot of people some headache, because there's sellers who didn't know there were unreleased title defects in the property, unreleased liens in the property, and some other ones. Not too long ago, a few months ago, we found out that there was a mechanics lien on the property that was improperly placed in the property. The mechanic, the vendor who wasn't paid, meant to file it on the neighbor's house, got the address wrong, and put it on our listing. Luckily, we found it out early, as opposed to finding out after ratification, causing problems. With Movement Mortgage, if you put a Movement Mortgage lender sign in the yard, have those available at every office, we will credit not credit your account. We will give you $20 bonus on the file for just putting the Movement Mortgage sign next to yours in the yard, which is basically telling consumers this is the loan officer you should call. Have to. It's just, if you sell a home warranty, if you get your buyer or seller and they agree to do a home warranty either through 210 or American Home Shield, there's another $25 given to you on top of your commission for the time it took to fill out the one-page form, which is no time at all, and you can do it all online. So a little benefit, a little bonus for you if you're using 210, American Home Shield, Movement, or Shaheen. All right, so that is the tools that are here on this page. And again, go click on it. This is what I was recommending to an agent the other day. Every 48 hours, dedicate 15 minutes to a tile. So you create a list of the tiles every other day. Say, I'm going to spend 15 minutes tonight, and I'm going to look over what this thing does until I know at least how it works into my business plan. All right, with that said, I'm going to go down to my CB desk. Remember, there was the Coldwell Banker Elite stuff is on Elite Scoop. My CB desk is all the Coldwell Banker stuff, and we use them both. When you log into my CB desk, it's going to look different than mine does. And this is a good thing, because you can customize what you want here. So you can go to Add App, and then you can choose which of these tools you want to use. So you can add Home Spotter here on your page, or you can add whatever else is there. Then you can grab over here in the top left-hand corner of the tile, you can grab that and move it to whatever order best suits you, so you don't forget things are there. Now, listing concierge, don't worry about this because that's something that we're moving away from. But all the rest of the tiles are here. Now, you're going to have, as of right now, brand serve as an option. Eventually, you're going to have Market Center. They gave me and a few other people a chance to play with it in advance. So you're not going to see that yet. It's going to be there in a week or two. You're going to see Brand Serve, which is the current version of this. If you were attending the company meeting 2 months ago, Aaron Rodgers, not the quarterback, did a presentation of Market Center, our marketing center. We're going to do another training of it later this month. And I wouldn't, Brand Serve you can go play with right now, but I wouldn't get too involved in it. It's being replaced by Market Center. We're going to do some trainings pretty soon. Prospect Square is a tool that you can use when you log in to add your client to this information. It can be any client. And when you do log in and you do add their information, it's going to send them a monthly market statistics report. So it's going to ask you, and again, there's training videos all over the place, and we have some training videos on our page. Or you can go down here, and this is where I would start on Agent Guide. This is a quick down and dirty how to get up and running. And so this is the dashboard when I log in, and because I'm not logged into my agent account, this is the admin account. It tells you how many emails you sent out, how many people read them, how many people did not read them, how many people actually took action on them, to see how the efficacy of your email campaign. You're going to add your contacts over here. You see, I have a couple people that I have added in here for testing. And you're going to assign reports. And so you can set up area reports, which are just what that is. So for example, out in Gainesville, I had one in just the subdivision of Lake Ridge. And so if it was my client, I would go into contacts and add her. I would assign her to the report. And now once a month, she's going to get an email that says, here's all the homes that are for sale in your neighborhood. Here's what's listed, or I mean, here's what's sold in your neighborhood. Here's what the market statistics are looking like. This is just a review of market data and active and sold listings in their neighborhood. It's just another way to keep in contact with them. The market, that's the area report. The market report is more global. So if you don't have a specific neighborhood, zip code, city, or town, you can use market report and it's just market statistics. Let me give you a two-second advice here. Go put yourself into this report. On the first week of every month, you're going to get an email telling you what's going on in the market, whether it's up or down, what the average sales price is, how many people are actually looking in properties, and all the rest. You can also do quarterly reports if you don't feel comfortable sending monthly reports. This is in addition to Moxie Engage in your CRM. So this would be this is just market data. This isn't all the other salesy stuff that's in the CRM. You can create groups. I have, buyers that I'm working with in Gainesville, and then my investors, because they're getting different data. And so I set up different types of reports to send to those groups. And again, there's some more information there. So Prospect Square is just data and statistics about the area. HomeSpotter, we talked about. Branson, we talked about. Markets, we talked about. The rest of this stuff is not something we have to worry about today. I take it back. Express Stocks. If you want to order letterhead, business cards, global luxury, brochure hoarders, most of this stuff we provide for you. If you wanted more of it, or you're working on like some special project and you want to buy some brand gear, you can log in. You won't have this long list. I have to choose which office I'm working out of at any given time. You do want to make sure you choose the right office, because like if you get letterhead, it'll automatically populate your office's address in the footer of the letterhead, for example. So you want to make sure you log in the right one. And then turn on marketing. Admittedly, this is not the cheapest place in the world. And so I don't generally recommend using their campaigns because they can get quite pricey. There's other better things you can do. But if you want to get stationery, notepads, letterhead, all that kind of stuff, you can go here. You can order brochures with your branding and your name. We take care of yard signs. You just have to let us know you want some, and Maryland will take care of that, or C's will. Global luxury stuff and some apparel. The apparel here, it's decent quality. I won't say it's the best. It's like not Jose Banks or anything, but it's nice stuff, but it's much cheaper on Vistaprint, which is why we created that for you, for the apparel. For the books and things like general marketing information, most of all this is available in our office. If you go here and see something you really like, go ask your ASC or your broker if there's any in stock. And if not, we can order that stuff for you. So this is really just kind of a lookbook for you to go look at the cool stuff and see, unless you want, you want branding with your name on it and stuff. I would check Vistaprint first. It's infinitely less expensive. But this will be to see if there's something that you want us to order, if it's branded brochures and guides and things like that. Okay, so that takes us to MoxieWorks. Now, MoxieWorks is the landing page for everything. You're hearing us talk about this in pretty much every meeting now. This was a huge gift to us from Coldwell Banker, to the point that myself and Jay and Angel had met with Moxie before we knew Coldwell Banker was working on this. And we were going to go ask Kevin, pretty please, can we have this new toy? Because we weren't really happy with the stuff we had before. And then Coldwell Banker's like, hold off, don't do that. You'll like what we have to offer. And then secretly said, hey, we're getting Moxie too. So we were already on this path. We're really happy they got it. When you log into Moxie, again, make sure your profile and stuff set up, your pretty picture, your contact information is all there. And then you've got the hub, which is where we are now. You have different tools up here. And you're gonna have present. And present is just that. If you're creating listing presentation or buyer presentations, present is going to help you create those. You can add your own content. We're creating stuff to put in there. So you can see if I go to create a new one, it's going to ask you what type of presentation. So let's say we're going to do seller. And you can look under brokerage templates. So there's Caldwell Banker, which is just Caldwell Banker, or there's the brokerage templates, which are things that I've put together here to get you started on what you're doing. And so here's the CBE seller tour. And I'm going to click on that one. And then we're going to just say John Seller. And I can do, I think you're only going to have the Bright MLS. I don't think you're going to have access to anything else. And then whatever office you're in. And then you're going to hit create. I don't know that you're going to have drop downs for that. I think I only have that because I'm an admin, because I'm adding content for everybody. Yours should default to your office. And then there's a fill in the notice here. If it's already, if it's been entered in the past, if you're going to go talk to a seller and the house has been entered any point in the past, you can go copy the old MLS number here and it'll populate all this content from the prior listing. A word of caution here is most agents suck at data entry. And so you want to double check that information here to make sure whatever the prior listing agent put in is still accurate. If you're doing a buyer tour, you can go put in the MLS data for the house they're looking to buy and it'll populate here. And that information is as good as what the agent put in as well. And so again, if you're doing this as a listing, you're going to fill in this form here with all the information, or you can just copy the prior listing MLS ID and it'll take it from the prior listing and fill all this out for you. I can't go much further here because I'm not going to have content. Again, I can pull the MLS data here. I can then go pull listings from MLS. This is connected to our MLS. So I can either add a custom listing if there is a, like in this new construction and it's not an MLS yet, or I can go add listings through the MLS ID or the addresses, and it'll go ahead and notice it says numbers plural. Put a comment between it so that if you have 4 comparable properties, you can add them with a comment in between. It'll pull that in and start already adjusting prices and doing things. And then we pull listings. It'll tell us the estimated sales price. I don't like saying your home is worth 520,000. I like telling them it's between 510 and 530. Pick a number because they always go high and then when it doesn't sell. And there's some truth to that. And we'll talk about that. So when you click on create range, you can say your worth is 510 to 530. And now in your market analysis, instead of saying your home's worth 520, it's going to give them that range. And there's a whole discussion we'll cover in other classes. And then I get the pages at the end, and notice here on the left, there are the pages that we have already created for you that are in there that you can choose to use in your presentation, or you can go up here to add page because maybe you've created something in Canva or some other tool that you want to import in. It's more about you and that you like better. And you can add that to the presentation. And then when you're done, I can look at it either portrait or landscape. I'm going to go look at a PDF and landscape. Hear the Jeopardy music playing right now. I don't know how the drawer behind me in my desk got open, but it just took out my ankle. All right, anyway. The office furniture is attacking me, guys. If we never hear from each other, like Beauty and the Beast's castle here just started singing and dancing and killing me. Anyways, okay. So remember, like what I said, I like sending ahead information, or you can print this out, but it'll create a digital version you can deliver on your iPad or your laptop, or it'll create a PDF version you can print out or email ahead of your presentation. Here are the materials we've already created for you. This is in landscape, which is 16 by 9. That's what like a PowerPoint slide would be in. Portrait is the regular A4 paper that you would normally, letterhead paper that you would normally use, which is what this was designed in. So we're still working on getting some more content in here, but most of this is automatically populated. And honestly, if you've got 3 comps that are similar to the subject property, in 10 minutes, you can have a killer CMA done like that. And it only takes more time if you don't have good comms. If it's a unique property, you have to make adjustments and all those other things in there. All right. So that is present. Engage is the CRM, which we have talked a lot about in all of our other meetings and classes. The client relationship management tool is we can't oversell it. Like if you look at agents who went from mediocre to bad business to all of a sudden being superheroes, most of them will tell you having a system and a database is how they did it. I wrote a class for NAR a couple years ago. The marketing team and I reached out to a bunch of people, the marketing team did, because that's the research team rather, not the marketing research team, did most of it. What we found is that of the top 20% of the top producers, that when they were surveyed and said, what made a difference in your business? They said a database, a CRM, a database was what made the difference. That's what took them from mediocre or low producing to high producing. The CRM is designed, you go to agent mode here, to give you a number of different tools. So very first thing to do is to add people. And so I can go to add here. And I just want to show you, remember earlier we talked about importing folks. And so when we went to HomeSpotter and we exported that spreadsheet of contacts, I remember when we did that. When I go over here to now and I click on this little gear thing, I can click on content and bring in that Excel spreadsheet that I exported from HomeSpotter and assign them in campaigns. So campaigns are just that. It is a series. And again, everything on Moxie has a video. They'll tell you exactly what it is. Hopefully you can spend the 4 minutes learning how to do it. The campaign is designed to, mine are for recruiting, so ignore those, designed to assign to somebody who's a buyer, an investor, a seller, or whomever. You can do e-blast, which is a one-time email to everybody in your system. You can do neighborhood news, which is similar to iProspect. The content isn't quite as good. You can do this if you have all your buyers in there. You can do a listing announcement. Every time you get a new listing, you can email everybody that's in a certain category there. And then you can have just a history of your emails back and forth with consumers. You can also go your own goals, which I highly recommend that you do. And as you can see, again, a pop-up process. This is my training account, so my goals aren't in here, but it'll say, I want to I want to make, $110,000 this year. And then I'm going to go back and it's going to pull data from our system. So in other words, you don't have to list, you don't have to enter your buyers, your things under contract and sold. It automatically pulls this in here and will tell you where you are in comparison to your goals that you have set. And it'll tell you what prospects are actually engaged in your content and working with you and who's ready to call and what to say to them when you do. And then you can tie this into your calendar. So you can see mine calendar is here. It's tied in like my regular calendar, know what's going on. And also tell me based on my contacts, you can see it's Hannah's birthday today. She's in my contacts. And this morning when I got up, the first thing I did was say happy birthday to her. So this is all pulling from the people section of your database. And then when you get here, the dashboard, it tells you, who's up, who should you be reaching out to because it's their anniversary, or you worked with them a year ago, or who's taking action and reading your emails, and who needs a phone call today, and who should text, and who should you be stopping by with. And you can customize this to however you want to. So this is your dashboard for every morning to log in and kind of see where you are, what you have to do next with your consumers. Then your website, every agent at CBE has a agent website. It is WordPress. If you're familiar at all with website design, WordPress is the most popular website. When you log in, there's two options here. One is you can go do this yourself, which is it's fairly straightforward, but some people are intimidated by it. Or we do have a staff member who will set up the website for you. There is a fee to do that. The staff member, we got to cover our costs of the staff doing this. I think it's $200 is what we last settled on, and they will go set up the whole website for you. Or you can just do it yourself. It's really not hard. You're going to go through this where it says common tasks when you log in and just do each one in order. It literally walks you through the process of getting the website up and running. So you can choose what style you want. What do you want on your homepage for a name, logo, formatting? What areas do you work in? So your client search for homes there. You can create search links for it. Just one thing I do strongly recommend is if somebody says, hey, can you give me more information about this house? Call them, follow up with them, but share the link from your personal website here as the Zillow link or Realtor.com or even callthebanker.com, because you want them to go to your website to see other houses for sale, other content, other thing you've posted. Anyways, these tasks here, don't be intimidated. If you an SSL certificate is, they're going to walk you through it. Go there. They're going to give you 2 or 3 sentences about what that means and why you need it, and then walk you through the steps to do it. This is incredibly self-paced, self-explanatory, and you can't break it. We've tried. Sharonica might be able to break it. I'm not sure. Anyway. No, there are some things you can delete things like you can any document you're working on and stuff, but there are some things that you could delete, but they're recoverable up to 30 days. So if you go, oh my gosh, I deleted that page I was working on, I deleted a blog post, we can click on it right back. And all the SEO is already built in. So like all the Google juice and all that kind of stuff is already there. There's some stuff you can do to make it a little bit better, but Google doesn't have a hard time finding it. I didn't spend a lot of time on what a website is. Does everybody know what a website is? Okay, we're cool. All right, good. All right. Impress is the marketing of your listings. And so when you put a listing in, remember Paradigm, I said there's 2 products that do the same thing. Paradigm is one, Impress is the other. You choose which one you want to share and work in. It's entirely up to you. When you log in, your listings are automatically brought in. They have to be active. So if you have something you have in draft that you haven't posted yet, they won't come in. When you see your listing, and you can see all I have active right now is when you see your listing, you can go over here to manage it. All right, and then you can go here, whatever didn't come in from MLS, you can start adding stuff here, right? So if you have a video or a 3D tour or something, you can add that here. This is the website for your single listing website you can grab. You can even change remarks. You can more stuff has. You can have more photos. And remember, you may ask why Matthew can't put a sentence together. I'm stammering through this, but you may ask, like, why would I add something that's not an MLS? The multiple listing service does not allow your personal branding. You can't have a photo with you in it or a video with you in it, nothing with your signage in it, nothing your logo in it, none of that. After it's an MLS, whatever comes into here, you can add all your stuff. So maybe there's a video of you talking about the house like you were on HGTV. I've done that for a number of my listings. It gets great engagement. I can go add that here and I can build that single listing website. Now,
Where
in the
is
single,
Matthew? What tab is this?
this is Impress.
Impress. Okay, thanks.
Yep. So that single listing website is created here. And again, you get to decide whether you use the Paradigm one or whether you're going to use the Impress one. I personally think there's, again, good and bad of both. One of the things I really like about the Paradigm one is it's got that Ken Burns effect. It's got the layout's a little, it's nice. What I like about the Impress is there's way more ways to reach out to me immediately. And I want that for lead generation. It's a nice, clean website. It looks like your page. It's got more information than the Paradigm. So you decide which one fits your need better. But also notice here, this is on callthebanker.com. So whatever you are editing or adding to it is going to be on the national website. So you're going to get a lot more traction out of it. And then from there, I can, this is already done. So this is just going in and editing if you want. I can go to where it says view projects. Now we have set this up so that there are automatically 11 marketing elements that are created on your behalf. MLS. You can add more. You can create your own templates. Maybe there's some other cooler things or different things you want to do. One of those is the video. So right here, I'm going to go click on the video. And I can go upload it from here by pushing a button. It'll automatically take this video up to YouTube, or I can publish a video, which means I'm going to create it and put it elsewhere with a link on the website. But I'm going to go look at the video first. So here's a video that was created without me doing anything right out of MLS. And I think it looks pretty good. Again, this is a land deal, so there's not a lot of content. So you have to imagine that I had a really right now. And you can't hear it, but it's got some nice, kind of elevator jazz music going on there. And you have more stuff that'll go more places. If you don't like how that video looks, you can go in and edit some of the information here. So I use the title, I can add a description for the video, and I can move through and I can add or delete or rearrange photos. If I want them in a different order, I can add more text over top of each photo. I can change the type of audio file. I can either upload one, just a word to the wise here. You cannot use commercial music. So if you're putting Van Halen into your listing because it's just a killer listing, that's going to sound amazing, but YouTube won't publish it because that music, you don't have the right to that song. Or it might publish it, but it won't put it in the searchability category because of rights violations. And then again, you can go choose music here from some of the choices they have already if you like something better. Because I mean, who doesn't like tropical jam for raw land? Awesome. Anyways, so, and then you can add, so if there's more than one of you, if you're co-listing or you want different information on there, you can add that information there. All right. So that's projects for each listing. So again, the listing comes in, go back to home here. Listing comes in, you're going to go projects. There's the video. Here's your flyer. And by the way, the ASCs will be emailing you links to all of this. So you don't have to log in and do this. I wanted to customize it. So once the listing is active, the ASCs will go get links to these things, email them out to you. And again, here's the flyers, and I can publish it to the internet. I can email it to people. I can download it as a PDF or download it as a JPEG and a photo.
Matthew,
There is
on this for mine, none of my listings are transferring.
okay. That's let's take care of that after the call.
Okay, sorry.
Because Haley
Okay.
did email about them like that, and I found them all. So I found the ones that she said weren't there. So you need to
Okay.
look at it again, just make sure. All right. So anyway, so Antioch Road, I'm sorry, Antioch, the e-card. What an e-card is, you can copy and paste it into an email. If you've ever gotten an email from an agent, they're like attaching a PDF going, here's my new listing, or just a couple words or a link back to the MLS. This is a nice graphic designed, basically infograph looking format. And you can look at all this stuff and check it out here. So this can be copy and pasted into the email or sent as an email, and it's formatted already and looks nice to get the word out to whomever you want to send it to. And then again, there's postcards. There's postcards. If you want to send them to the printer, you can, to have them print and distribute or deliver to you, so you can label them. The single listing website we talked about, a virtual tour if you've got enough. Again, I don't have enough photos for that to work. Brochures, your listing flyer, social media posts. So you can go grab this, and it's already formatted in the square formatting and done. So you can just throw it up there on Instagram or throw it on Facebook or Twitter or wherever you are. And then again, there's a larger version of the same thing, which is probably more appropriate for Facebook, and a smaller version more appropriate for Instagram to help you with those things. All right. So that is just an example of some of the projects there. All right. Let me go back to, let me see what I missed here. We're almost done. I know we're a minute or two over. We're almost done with this. All right, so press and then promote. And so promote we are not currently using because Boost is what we use. Promote is the social media campaigns for your listings. HomeSpotter is much better, and we've already paid for it for you, so you don't have to do anything. I wouldn't worry about promote. Help is just what it sounds like. To get help, have pages on yours. That's just for me as an admin. So that's a little bit about Moxie. Now, again, this session was supposed to be, or is to be, just an orientation to what the tools are that are available to you. Whatever your way of learning is, make an appointment with yourself. Say, I'm going to block out Sunday at 1 hour Sunday afternoons while I'm watching the game, or while kids are taking a nap, or whatever you're doing, to just focus on a tool. really 15 minutes every 2 days so you understand it. And then some of those you're going to say, hey, this CRM thing is going to take me some time to put together. And then time block a couple hours to sit there and actually work on it. One of the things we've asked, no problem. One of the things that we've asked each of you when you join was start making a list of all the people you know. Anybody you have a telephone number and an email address for should go in there. And then just keep rolling along. Like every time you get an email address and phone number, put them in that database and assign them something to get your word out. You've got right now, I know it feels like it's going crazy at 1,000 miles an hour. You got everything thrown at you and you're trying to figure it all out. I'm telling you, it's going to get crazier when you start getting clients. So right now is the time to start getting this base stuff set up. And if there's only one thing I would do, it would be get the website up and running. Because you need somewhere to send your clients, and they're going to Google you. Even people who know and love you, they're going to Google to make sure you're a legitimate agent and see what's out there. And that's the base station for all future marketing and stuff. The second thing would get your CRM set up. Because the website you can do in a couple hours, that CRM will never end. There will constantly be work to do and email campaigns to set up and stuff. In the CRM, there's already email campaigns, first-time home buyers, sellers, whomever, FSBOs. There's better content you could create and make it more custom, but you just need to get something in front of them right now and let the computer do the work. You can go and back and improve on it later as your skills get better. So that's it. That's your orientation to the tools, where to find them, how to go look that stuff up and spend some time with them. I'm going to stop talking now and take some questions if anybody has any.
You mentioned, Matthew, something about HomeSpotter. I heard somebody talk about that today. How would we go about setting that up aside from just going to HomeSpotter and doing it ourselves? Is there a link through the company to do it, or?
Yeah, so go through the portal because it does, you're right, it does have a custom link, a subdomain. Go through Elite Scoop and click that link there. So go to HomeSpotter and then there's a link in there to get you through the setup. All you need to do is set up your profile, your headshot, and your contact information. The staff sets up HomeSpotter for you when your listing goes active. So
Okay.
they send out the campaign and send it to social media. You just need to remember to go in and you just need to remember to go in and add your seller's email address after you get the listing.
Thank you.
Sure. Anybody else? All right, if that's it, thank you guys for your time. See y'all
Matthew,
later.
Thank
Matthew,
you very much.
can I